Every single month, millions of Americans trust big banks like Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo to hold their Social Security payments. But what if I told you that the bank you chose could be quietly costing you money, delaying your payments, or even putting your benefits at risk? Stick with me for the next few minutes, because what you're about to hear could change the way you handle your Social Security forever. Let's start with something most people never think about. When your Social Security payment hits your bank account, you assume it's safe, protected, and fully available to you. And in most cases, it is. But the reality is, not all banks treat your Social Security deposits the same way. There are fees, hold policies, garnishment rules, and account requirements that vary widely between Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. And if you are not paying attention, you could be losing a piece of your benefit every single month without even realizing it. Let's talk about Chase first. Chase is the largest bank in the United States, and millions of Social Security recipients use it as their primary account. Chase offers direct deposit for Social Security, and they do process payments on time. However, here is where things get tricky. Many Chase accounts come with monthly maintenance fees. If your balance drops below a certain threshold, you can be charged anywhere from $6 to $25 per month depending on your account type. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but for someone living on a fixed Social Security income, that adds up to hundreds of dollars a year straight out of your pocket. Chase does offer fee waivers if you maintain a minimum balance or set up direct deposit, but those conditions are not always clearly explained to new customers. The bottom line with Chase is that you need to read the fine print very carefully and make sure your account is structured in a way that protects your money. Now, let's move to Bank of America. Bank of America is another massive institution that handles an enormous number of Social Security direct deposits. One thing that Bank of America is known for is its Advantage banking accounts, which have tiered features. The problem for many Social Security recipients is that the entry-level accounts still carry fees unless you qualify for a waiver. Bank of America also has a history of charging overdraft fees, and if you accidentally overdraw your account waiting for your Social Security payment to clear, you could face a $35 overdraft fee per transaction. That is a brutal hit for someone on a fixed income. Bank of America has made some improvements in recent years, including a safe balance account that eliminates overdraft fees entirely. But again, you have to know to ask for it. Most people just walk in, open whatever account the teller recommends, and end up stuck with fees they did not expect. If you use Bank of America, go in today and ask specifically about accounts designed for people on fixed incomes. They exist, but the bank will not always volunteer that information. Wells Fargo has had a complicated history, and that is putting it mildly. The bank has faced massive fines and regulatory actions in recent years for creating fake accounts, misleading customers, and charging improper fees. Now, to be fair, Wells Fargo has made changes and paid significant penalties, but trust is hard to rebuild. For Social Security recipients, Wells Fargo does offer direct deposit services and has a clear access banking account that avoids overdraft fees, which is a positive step. However, Wells Fargo still charges monthly service fees on many of its standard accounts, and their fee structures can be confusing. If you are a Wells Fargo customer, the most important thing you can do right now is log into your account, check exactly what type of account you have, and find out what fees you are paying. You may be surprised. Now, here is something critically important that applies to all three of these banks, and honestly, to every bank in America. Under federal law, your Social Security benefits have a certain level of protection from garnishment. If a creditor gets a court judgment against you, they generally cannot touch your Social Security benefits. However, there is a catch. Banks are only required to protect 2 months' worth of Social Security deposits in your account automatically. Anything beyond that 2-month amount can potentially be seized. This is a rule that most Social Security recipients have never heard of, and it could be devastating if you are ever sued by a debt collector or creditor. The way to protect yourself is to keep your Social Security deposits in a separate dedicated account and avoid mixing them with other funds. If Social Security money gets blended with other income, it becomes much harder to prove what portion is protected. Let's also talk about something called electronic benefit transfer versus direct deposit. Many people confuse these two things. Direct deposit goes straight into your checking or savings account at your bank. This is what most people use, and it is what we have been discussing. But some people still receive their benefits on a Direct Express prepaid card, which is a separate product entirely managed through a government-approved financial services company. The Direct Express card has its own fee structure and its own set of rules. If you are still using a paper check, the Social Security Administration strongly encourages you to switch to electronic payment, either direct deposit or Direct Express, because paper checks come with their own risks, including theft, loss, and mail delays. Here is another thing to think about. When does your Social Security payment actually arrive? Your payment date is determined by your birthday. If you were born between the 1st and 10th of the month, your payment arrives on the second Wednesday of each month. If you were born between the 11th and 20th, it arrives on the third Wednesday, and if you were born between the 21st and 31st, it arrives on the fourth Wednesday. Supplemental security income, which is different from regular Social Security retirement or disability benefits, is paid on the first of the month. Now here is where your bank matters. Most banks post direct deposits early in the morning on the scheduled payment date, but some banks may hold funds for a brief period. If you are budgeting tightly and expecting your money to be available at midnight, double-check your bank's policy on when direct deposits become accessible. There is also the question of what happens if your Social Security payment is delayed or does not arrive at all. If your payment is missing, the first step is to wait 3 business days from your expected payment date before contacting anyone, because sometimes processing delays happen. After 3 business days, you should contact the Social Security Administration directly at 1-800-772-1213. You should also notify your bank, because sometimes there are issues with account numbers or routing numbers that can cause a deposit to bounce back to the Social Security Administration. If you recently changed banks and updated your direct deposit information, make sure the change has been fully processed before closing your old account. The SSA recommends keeping your old account open for at least 1 month after making a banking change to ensure no payments fall through the cracks. Let's talk about credit unions and online banks as alternatives. This is something a lot of people never consider, but it could genuinely improve your financial situation. Credit unions are nonprofit financial institutions that are owned by their members. Because they are not trying to generate profit for shareholders, they typically charge lower fees, offer better interest rates, and provide more personalized service than the big banks. Many credit unions have accounts specifically designed for people on fixed incomes, with no minimum balance requirements and no monthly fees. If there is a credit union in your area that you qualify to join, it is absolutely worth considering. Similarly, online banks like Ally, Marcus, and others often have no monthly fees and no minimum balance requirements because they do not have the overhead costs of physical branches. Many of them also accept Social Security direct deposit without any issues. One more thing you absolutely must know. If you are on Medicaid or supplemental security income, keeping large amounts of money in your bank account can actually affect your eligibility for those programs. SSI has strict asset limits, generally around $2,000 for an individual, and if your bank account balance exceeds those limits, your benefits could be reduced or eliminated. This is a real concern for many SSI recipients, and it requires careful financial management. You should talk to a benefits counselor or a financial advisor who specializes in working with people on disability or fixed incomes if this situation applies to you. So what should you actually do after watching this? First, log into your bank account right now and find out exactly what account type you have and what fees you are paying. Second, make sure your direct deposit information on file with the Social Security Administration is accurate and up to date. You can do this through your My Social Security online account at ssa.gov. Third, consider whether your current bank is truly the best fit for your needs, or whether a credit union or online bank might serve you better with fewer fees. Fourth, if you have debt collectors or creditors in your life, talk to a legal aid attorney about how to properly protect your Social Security funds from garnishment. And fifth, if you are still receiving paper checks, take the step today to switch to direct deposit. It is safer, faster, and more reliable. Your Social Security benefit is money you earned. You paid into this system your entire working life, and you deserve to keep every dollar of it. Do not let bank fees, confusing account structures, or lack of information chip away at what is rightfully yours. The big banks count on you not knowing the details. Now you do. If this information helped you or someone you know, please share this video with your family and friends who are on Social Security. A lot of people are losing money every single month simply because nobody ever explained this to them. Drop a comment below and let me know what bank you use and whether you have experienced any of these issues. Your story might help someone else in the community make a better decision. And if you want to keep getting straightforward, no-nonsense information about Social Security, Medicare, retirement benefits, and protecting your money, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. We post new content regularly that is designed specifically to help you navigate the financial system with confidence. Subscribe to my channel right now because the information we share here could literally save you thousands of dollars. See you in the next one.